Jesus.
WNYWatercooler.com.
All right, hold on a second.
Aren't you having a baby this week?
I'm not. No.
Isn't she? Isn't Renee due this week?
Yeah. Oh, God.
What day?
Tuesday.
I thought I was going to have to host this podcast. I would have had no idea how to upload it or anything.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Hold on a second.
Tuesday. Yesterday. Yikes. Might have to cut this short.
Oh, because the football game? I think
It's
it's
a football
halftime.
game?
College
There's a
football.
Who's playing?
UCF and SMU? Don't you follow sports? Jesus.
It's a Wednesday?
It got postponed. Did you ever hear of a hurricane?
I'm going to a football game Friday night.
Yeah, it sounds real.
Sometimes I think I'm a killer. I scared you in your house.
Hold on a moment. Welcome back. WNYWatercooler.com podcast. We got Steve, our host, and we have Coast on the line with us today.
Hello, Steve.
Oh, hello, Michael. Everyone subscribe, rate, review, share it with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you know. We'll take any advertising that you have interest in.
Yeah, we got to start making some money. Longest standing podcast in Western New York history. Made like $200 career in 15 years.
Probably true, actually.
I guarantee it.
So we barely beat the Chiefs. I think that seemed like a year ago, that game.
Yeah, they were sloppy in the first half. Again, red zone, short yardage is. Hopefully they're able to figure that out in the bye week. I don't understand why it's so hard for us on like 3rd and 1, or we're struggling in the red zone this year, obviously. And we had our first drive of the game. I mean, McKenzie, not a good first half for him. First drive of the game, we just fumbled like the 12, and then another drive in the first half, we go turn it over on downs inside the 5 where McKenzie just like fell out, like John. I don't know what he was doing on that pass, but got to clean that stuff up. I mean, should have been a double-digit win.
I mean, I know I'm a Joshy Poo hater. I do have a rant actually on that, but that fumble was on him, I think. I mean, that play is not designed that way to just flick it to him after you fake it to him.
It had to be what the design was.
I don't know.
There's no way that would be like an ad-libbed, like, no, that was definitely a design play. I'm not like totally blaming McKenzie for that. It was just, I mean, at the time, I didn't think it was really necessary. I mean, Singletary was just gassing them for like 8 yards a run, right? Why even do anything fancy or try to get cute there? Just keep pounding it up the middle and, score. Just score.
Well, why would you fake it to the right side with a player and then run it to that same side with that same player? Well, how is that a play?
I don't know. I mean,
that's why I think that's why I don't really blame McKenzie really at all. I mean,
mistakes like that. I mean, that kind of stuff happens. I wasn't really mad at McKenzie for that play. The 4th and goal. The 4th and goal, I blame him. He had another drop in the first half. It just wasn't a good half for him. But that's beside the point. I mean, those red zone and goal to go situations, we haven't been good. I mean, we were terrible against Miami. We're scoring on big plays, like seemingly half our touchdowns or more, maybe.
Yeah, the Bills are screwed if Gabe Davis is out. I mean, the guy, what's he have, like a 40-plus yard touchdown every game? He has like 3 catches, 5,000 yards.
I mean, he's good. Yeah, he didn't do much in the Titans game, from what I recall. but he might not have even played in the Titans game.
I think he was hurt.
Because I think he lit them up. I mean, he came back for the Dolphins game, but I think he was not even close to 100%. But yeah, he's an important part of the offense, and I think he's like perfect the way we use him. And so, obviously there was a lot of people on the radio and, all the talk about getting a receiver. You're not getting a receiver to play where Davis or Diggs play. I mean, what do you want to do? Upgrade the slot position? Just get a depth guy? You're not bringing Odell Beckham in to just be like a backup depth guy.
Yeah, GR is like, oh, you have to do it just so KC doesn't get him, which might be a fair point. But, I mean, we don't have the cap. It sounds like he wants money, first of all, although I don't know what team's really going to have much money to pay him. He's coming off an ACL tear. 3, he's not going to take away snaps from Davis, obviously not Diggs. And I mean,
it's a 30-year-old, right? 30, probably 30, maybe older receiver coming off like a second knee injury. I mean, this guy when was the last time he was healthy? And he was good. He had a good stretch last season. And, but that doesn't mean he's going to come back from this knee injury and be like anything better than Isaiah McKenzie is.
Not to mention not practicing, not knowing the playbook, not having any rhythm with the quarterback. They always claim that's such a big thing.
I got no interest in Odell Beckham. None. I really don't.
I mean, I'd rather sign him than trade for somebody if it costs a lot, although I don't know, there's some receivers that seemingly are available. But anytime they say there's going to be a trade, there almost never is. Although there's already been a handful of trades. I mean,
I mean, you don't want to, and this is what I like about Bean, is he doesn't do stuff just to do it. Like, he's got to make a move. If there's no move to be made, don't make a move. Like, this move, the McCaffrey trade was, I still can't wrap my head around it. It was one of the most mind-boggling trades I've ever seen in my entire life. 4 draft picks for a running back, and then they come out and get destroyed by Kansas City. Like, I don't understand what these teams are doing. And then Robinson goes for
a 6th,
like a 6th rounder. I'm not saying that Robinson is like as good as McCaffrey, but I don't know. I mean, the amount that the San Francisco 49ers gave up for a running back, to me, is just crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would never do that either. But I guess if he's going to be a centerpiece of your offense for the next few years, it makes sense. I mean, for just this year, it makes no sense.
None. I mean, even long term, the guy's been in the league now he's got to be like almost 30 by now, right? Like 28, 29, like something like that. I don't know. And he's hurt constantly. So, but then, like the Eagles, they gave up a 4th rounder for Robert Quinn, but we don't need a defensive lineman. So
yeah, we definitely don't need a defense. I mean, we have to bring back Ed Oliver, and we didn't even notice he wasn't playing last month.
I mean, what position? Where do you want to make a trade? Safety. I think our secondary. I mean, our defense has been awesome. We're getting White back. I don't really understand. I mean, they're being so super cautious with him, which is probably smart. Like, they already said he's not playing this week, even though seems to be like a full participant in practice.
Well, guard, safety, or running back, but I mean, we don't even start the Boise State boy, and Cook is useless. I mean, I like Singletary, but I mean, he's been playing like 80% of the snaps, so he's not even going to be available in January at this rate.
I like Singletary too. If they can add a back for basically nothing, I would not be opposed to that.
I think they got to start. I mean, after this game, they got to start playing Duke Johnson, the guy running back on the practice squad. I mean, they got to start using other running backs besides Singletary. They're going to burn him out.
Like the Jets game coming up. You can, I mean, and some of these games you might be able to get Cook more work, but Cook hasn't proven, or Cook hasn't shown that he should be getting any more work than he's getting. So I don't know, but yeah, we are thin there because these other guys haven't stepped it up.
O-line, I mean, it's just that I mean, we have the schedule. It's tough now because the schedule is just opening up so easily for the Bills. But really, the games that matter are going to be in January. And I mean, anything that happens now, who knows who's going to be available in January on the team, health-wise, injury-wise. So.
Yeah, there's so much that can happen between. I mean, look at last season. Last season, we had like 3 seasons within the season. We had a good start. We were looking good. Then we looked like crap for a month. And then we came back and started looking good again. So there's just so much can happen between now and then. But I don't agree with these teams just giving away draft picks for guys that aren't really going to move the needle for them.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
the Niners,
no reason. Yeah.
I mean, the NFC is wide open other than the Eagles. But I don't know.
Wide open.
Yeah, I mean, last year, what?
What?
Last year, this time, yeah, we had the bye week the same week 7. We come out, we sort of beat the Dolphins pretty handily. That game was pretty close until the end.
Sort of. Yeah, it was very. We got a little fortunate because I think it was 3-3 at halftime, but Miami fumbled right before half in our territory, and we looked like crap that game. We definitely didn't play well.
Yeah, and then we went out and we lost 3 of our next 5. We laid an egg, obviously, to Jacksonville. Got
smoked by the Colts.
Yeah, that was an embarrassing game.
And what was the other one? Oh, the Patriots game. Yeah.
Yeah, Patriots weather game, but still lost it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we had a swoon mid-season, before finally turning it around. But we lost to Tampa too. Anyways, yeah. So I don't expect that type of swoon this year, barring any crazy injuries. That's for sure. I mean, we were 5-2 last year.
Well, you like to pretend we're the best team of all time, even though we have a loss. But
we have a chance to be the best team of all time.
Why did Josh Allen fanboys like yourself? Why is it you always have to say he's the best ever? He's better than Mahomes. You guys always have to overcompensate. He's got to be the MVP. It's more we're lucky. He's lucky that Bean is a good GM and put all this talent around him, or else he'd just be this panicky boy that's running around backwards 30 yards every play, just pitching the ball to the right when no one's even looking at him.
I mean, the take on the McKenzie play, and that was definitely a design play, but I don't think you give Allen enough. Okay, for lots to break down, a lot to take in there. First of all, he did. We were smart in how we handled him. There's no question about it. But I think you discount how good of a job he did in improving his game. I mean, 2018 rookie raw, we had 0 talent whatsoever. We had nobody. 2019, we brought in professional receivers. We didn't have any sort of prolific offense, but we had guys, Beasley, Brown, that knew what they were doing. Rather than going out and drafting a bunch of rookies, that Green Bay, they lose Adams and then they just draft a bunch of rookies that don't know how to play receiver in the NFL. I mean,
I don't understand what the Packers are doing. They're just wasting his career.
Yeah, it's smart the way we did it. And then, Allen progressed a ton, and then we went out and actually gave up a real asset to get a stud receiver when Allen was ready to make that next step. I mean, if we got Diggs in 2019 or 2018, it probably might not have worked out as well as it did. So they definitely Bean, Bean, they definitely handled it well. But I think you discount the.
Well, yeah, he's unstoppable on 4th and 3 when he's rolling to his left. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. He completes. He has the arm strength and he completes passes.
He's the most talented quarterback in the league. like from a physical talent standpoint, ability to do everything. I feel like it's hard to even argue against that. So, I mean, the panicky comment, I know you guys, the Allen haters, love that. But
well, I don't love it. I hate it, actually.
I mean, you love it. You love bringing it up, but it's a rare thing now. It doesn't happen often. So, and the guy has been everyone, oh, he's panicky. He's unbelievable in prime time. He's like the highest rated one of the, I forget, Jared Bear was talking about on the radio this morning, out of like quarterbacks that have 300 pass attempts in prime time. He's in the top 5 with like Young, Manning, like all 4 other Hall of Famers.
Well, he is good in prime time. That's true. He puts up statistics, And
we win pretty much every time we play prime time. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean overcompensating. The guy is great, and it's exciting to watch. Even when he has his moments that you would consider, panicky, oftentimes he makes crazy plays when that drive at the end of the first half last week was just incredible. Remember all the years? All the years we watched the Bills, we had what was it, 3rd and 13 from the 2 with like a minute 10 left. I mean, 5 years ago we're running a QB keeper and punting.
Didn't they score with 12 seconds left, or did they miss the field goal? The game was so long.
We had 3rd and 13 or something from the 2, and we went, I think, 4 plays from there. We had a Davis pass, a Diggs pass.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. Yeah.
And then there was like 17 seconds left, maybe like 20, and we did the squib, and took a bunch of time off. But yeah, they had 12 seconds and had to go. They got like 25 yards in 12 seconds, and then Butker hit like a 61-yarder that would have been good from like 80.
Yeah, so we need to be up 9 points against the Chiefs with 1 second left, and I'll feel like maybe we can win.
This is the problem. I mean, everyone gives me, our friends give me shit for not being like a big Leslie Frazier fan. And that's just, it's like stuff like that. Our defense has been great. They played great in the second half. They played great against Kansas City. Great scheme, good job by the whole unit. But it's like we have these mental lapses in like critical situations. I mean, obviously, I don't know. After that game is probably not the best game to make that point, but how do you let them do? They basically did the exact same thing too in that 12 seconds. They did like a short pass to a receiver who got like 20 yards, and then they do the quick over the middle to Kelsey. It was like honestly the same exact thing.
And they didn't even have Tyreek.
Yeah.
After the game, you said, "Oh, Mahomes isn't even comparable to Allen." They have like literally the same exact stats. It's like crazy.
I'm going to say that.
Well, that's my whole point. But
I will say I think Allen has been better than Mahomes in each of the last 3 games that we played them. And I think that people are, obviously the media, everyone is obsessed with Mahomes. He's great. I get it. But Andy Reid is maybe the best offensive coach of all time. They make so many easy plays for him. And we talked about it last week. Like he had like 13 to 15 of his TD passes were to like backs and tight ends. That's because they're calling like amazing plays. Their red zone offense is like unstoppable. And yeah, that's because Mahomes made good plays, but that's also because Andy Reid, and I'm sure he gets plenty of credit, but Mahomes isn't Mahomes without Reid. You can say the same thing about Mahomes that you do about Allen. We have this great infrastructure. Allen, and that's why he's succeeding.
Yeah.
Without Reid, Mahomes isn't Mahomes. Like it works that way too.
Yeah, which I think we have to give Ken Dorsey more credit. Although, I mean, it's still early in the season, but I mean, we haven't skipped a beat. I mean,
I think we're better. I think our offense is more consistent, more efficient. There haven't been as many times this season really at all where, I mean, there have been a couple of runs where I was like, what are we doing? But not really. I mean, with Dable, it happened. There was many times where I was like, what are we doing? I don't know. I think he's been good. I think he's
I
been
don't know.
good.
I think we've been running the ball a lot. I didn't like our game plan against the Chiefs. I felt like we were,
Running it down their throat. They found
yeah,
a weakness and they exploited it, but then they called that pitch play, whatever that was. You can blame whoever you want. Regardless, it didn't work. So I mean, we score a touchdown on like it's so easy for us to have scored like 38 points in that game. Like it just it's I don't know. The game plan was fine.
So we move on to Green Bay. Somehow it's October 28th or 26th, whatever the date is. 2 home games we've played. At this time last year we played 4. It's like such a strange schedule that we have this year.
Don't they screw us with like 4 December home games every year?
I know. Yeah. It's probably because they want to get back at Terry for dithering with this stadium, not being seen, not even giving renderings to you fanboys who love this bullshit. Where is he? I mean, is he at his wife's bedside, tending, like washing her feet or something? It's amazing how these guys get away with this. These owners, because the Bills are good and the Sabres, if anyone cares. I mean, I guess they're starting out well. He's nowhere.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's been there a couple times, but no one knows what's going on with Kim. I mean, what do you think's going on with her? You think she's just like bedridden, coma? Like, what is going on with her? You think?
Maybe she had a stroke and she doesn't want to come out in public, which is fine. But
yeah, but why? Like, you can make that announcement, can't you? Like,
well, yeah, that's what I don't get. What's the secrecy? Unless it's something like, strange, maybe I don't want to really speculate. Maybe something that you don't want to talk about, or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's all possible, but yeah, it's just the fact that she's been.
They tried to make her the face of the franchise as the ownership group.
They did, yeah. She was like a big deal, and then she just is like.
Now it's like,
totally gone.
She had a cold and she's gone for like no one knows what happened to her.
Yeah, it's been 6 months, and there's I don't know, maybe Jessica had some cryptic Instagram post. We didn't really, I don't know, but yeah, it's just, anyways. I'm sure he's spending probably a lot more time than he would have normally. I don't know, but yeah, man, 2 home games so far. Neither of them have been good games at all. Not even close. Well, good isn't exciting. You haven't seen the starters play in a fourth quarter yet.
Yeah. It's been weird. Yeah, and now we're like, we might have the 1 seed locked up. I mean, the division seems to be, I don't know. The teams are better in our division, but
did you see that thing that if the Jets beat the Pats, and we lose to the Pack, the Jets are the number 1 seed in the AFC?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
that's possible too.
If they'll be 6-2 and we'd be 5-2, and they'd have the tiebreakers, I guess. Obviously, must have been Kansas City or whoever they'd be tied with, but yeah, they'd be the number 1 seed in the conference if that happened, and then we would play them the next week and be like 9-point favorites probably at MetLife. Even if that happened, it's kind of funny.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
But the division's weird now. Like I mean, the Patriots, I wasn't worried about them being like a threat to win the division, but I thought those would be tough games. And maybe they still may be, but I don't know. Losing 33-14 at home to the Bears it's like,
well,
that was surprising.
Yeah, and Patriots, yeah, they looked like shit. Both quarterbacks looked lost.
Yeah, what are they doing? Anyways, with that, like I just don't understand. Like they were platooning them, but I feel like why would you platoon 2 quarterbacks that are like the same player?
Yeah, it makes no sense. You're going to just take them out and put them in different intervals of the game with the same exact plays. Like Belichick was saying that was the plan the whole time, but That
Makes no
doesn't make
sense.
because Mac Jones couldn't play the whole game, but he didn't prove that he couldn't
No.
play the whole game based on health.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think it was like a cop out. Like if Mac like started out good in the game, they'd be like, yeah, that was our plan, but Mac was playing good, so we left him in. And since he started out shitty, they're like, yeah, this was our plan all along. They pulled him right after a pick. Like, I don't know. They weren't platooning. I don't know why they're like coming up with this like elaborate story, but they're just destroying the confidence they're destroying Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, even him now. It's like he's not going to probably feel like neither of them are going to feel comfortable.
Belichick has to actually coach without having the GOAT, and he's not running it too well. I don't know.
Never has.
We have 27 more points at this point last year than this year, so I don't know about the offense being better. Just to fact check that. That's what I was adding up the points, but because you said the offense is better. But yeah, I mean the Jets. I don't know.
Yeah, we had a couple 40-point games. We scored 40 plus we had a couple 40
burgers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jets, yeah, they say. I retweeted a highlight package of the Jets quarterback. I mean, that guy, he has arm strength and he has elusiveness, but he's small and I don't know.
We will absolutely eat that guy up. Eat that guy alive. It's Wilson. Yeah, they're not like who did the Jets beat this season? I mean, they had that crazy win against Cleveland. They beat Mark Rippon's kid last week. I guess they crushed Green Bay. Now they lose Breece Hall, who was like the first really good player it seemed like they've had in years.
At least on offense.
Yeah, I mean, their defense might be pretty good. It seems like maybe this new corner that they drafted is pretty good, but I don't know. I mean, put it this way, they're fourth in the list of teams I'm afraid of in the East. And I still would have them probably as one of the 5 to 7 worst teams in the NFL, even though they're 5-2.
Yeah, so they lost to the Ravens pretty handily. They beat the Browns by 1. They lost to the Bengals pretty handily. They beat the Steelers by 4. They crushed the Dolphins, but that was with their backup, right? The Packers they crushed, and then they beat the Broncos, and Broncos are just – oh, that's the Broncos backup too, yeah. So
I think the Dolphins game, I think maybe Bridgewater like got a concussion on like the first play. So it was the Skylar Thompson or whatever played.
Yeah. Well, the Jets they're much better than they were, but I still don't really believe in the coach, and I don't believe in that quarterback at all.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I have no faith I have much more confidence in Daniel Jones than Zach Wilson. So I don't know. It's just weird that those two teams have such good records, but it's like the Giants are 6-1. It's crazy. They are. And where would people rank them in like the power rankings? 6-1, and they'd have them like 15th, probably. Not saying I would, but it just seems like.
It seems like they're the 2021 Titans, basically. Although I don't know. Let's see. I mean, they still have to play Eagles twice, I think, but yeah, I mean, I gotta give Daboll credit. You're fading in and out, and we're losing you here.
Now can you hear me better?
Yeah.
The 2017 Bills, I feel like we maybe started like 5-2 or 5-3 that season, and we had no business being like we were losing games by 40 to the Saints and stuff, and like all of a sudden we're a wild card. Could be the Jets this season. I mean, the conference is so down. All these teams that people thought were going to be great, like the Chargers. I mean, we were right about them, I guess you can say, but they seemed like. But Herbert has thrown back-to-back games. He's thrown 50-plus passes and had an average yard per attempt under 5. But this guy is like a top 3 QB in the NFL. Get out of here.
Well, he better be hurt, or else. I mean, then they need to fire the coach. If they're saying he's healthy, if he's like not missing any practice, then they need to do something different because They look horrible.
I mean, he had that rib injury, but I mean, that was a month and a half ago. I mean, I don't know. I mean, these things can probably linger, but I didn't even think he was like, there's nothing. I don't know. Last year he was like put up a lot of stats, but I never was like, wow, this guy's awesome when I watched.
Yeah, I think the Raiders might be the second best team in that division, but they have 3 bad coaches. So the Chiefs, I mean, those teams, all Broncos, what was that interview? Like,
No idea.
Jesus.
It's the I was talking to someone today, and I said the Raiders might be the 4th best team in the league.
I like the Raiders team.
I do too. And their losses they have dumb losses. Like that Cardinals loss was stupid. They did lose. The Chiefs lost. Just bad coaching decisions, like you said. They lost another dumb one. Can't think of it right now.
Carter's hot and cold too, but we only have 8 minutes left. We got to get on the Packers. Number 1 pass defense. Although they haven't. I mean, they're going to eat us up for lunch in that secondary.
Well, they've been playing from behind, and like teams haven't had to pass. The Jets ran all over them. I mean, obviously, if you play the Jets, that's going to help your passing defense stats.
Oh, you had this.
They also played the Giants and Jets, and they played Heineke, Jones, and Wilson the last 3. I mean, that's like a 2020 Bills schedule. I mean, how are your pass D stats not going to be good if you have played those 3 quarterbacks? So, do you not agree?
Yeah, they're closer to 31st than first in reality. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. All I know
what
is
are they first in, like pass yards?
Yeah, the number 1 pass defense. It must be passing yards. Yeah, I mean, the Packers. I've watched a bunch of their games. The games are unwatchable. Their offense is non-existent.
Yeah,
they haven't. Aaron. Everyone used to love him. I've always hated him, but maybe I like him now. But he hasn't thrown for over 250 in any game. No. They lose the best receiver in the league, your top 3 receiver. Don't even try to replace him other than
drafting guys,
throwing some spaghetti at the wall and taking random 2nd and 4th round picks that they expected to be great.
And they were like, oh, we'll just rely on 33-year-old Randall Cobb, who hasn't been good since like 2017.
The 90s.
Yeah, and so I agree with you. I have watched them a bunch this year. Their defense might be fine, but their offense, they lack weapons. I mean, they got good backs, but it even seems like, I mean, they're not running the ball. Jones is catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. Dillon is like an afterthought, I feel like. I don't know what happened to him. I was expecting big things from him this season. So, in receiving core, and Watson is hurt. So it's Dobbs and Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, that's bleak. That is bleak. Yeah, there's something like 25% of their passes have been screen passes, or some huge, big percentage.
They're throwing like behind the line of scrimmage a lot, like quick hitters. And Rodgers, like, I don't know, man. He's going to be 39. It's at some point, it's just, I mean, same thing you say about Brady. I mean, at some point you just don't, there's going to be a drop off.
Well, that's why wins and losses for a coach can be misleading. I mean, LaFleur, I never bought into this guy. His big games,
they sucked.
I mean, you have the top 1 or 2 seed every year, and they lose to the Niners every year. It seems like.
Yeah, they've had home field. I mean, if you have home field 2 years in a row, you should probably. What are they? 1 and 2. I agree. I've never been a LaFleur fan. Felt like it was like when there was a string of, we're just going to hire young coaches thinking they're the next Sean McVay.
Yeah, McVay fired on him once.
Yeah, exactly. And he comes into this situation with Rodgers and Adams and a good defense and good running backs, and it makes him like look good. But I mean, come on, it's nothing. I don't know. I'm sure he's fine, but he's not some like elite level coach.
So the line is 11. Over under is 47.5.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's high. 11 and 47.5. I gotta take the under in this.
Well, they're expecting Green Bay to really have a tough time scoring, which I can't blame them. We should be like who? I didn't even look at the injury report today, but do we have anyone like injured?
Not just like Spencer Brown and Taiwan Jones. Everyone else is healthy. So, I mean, the Bills team is real healthy. I think the Packers have some injuries. Lazard, I think, is banged up. I mean,
Lazard and the rookie. I think he's got like a hamstring issue, and So, well, no, the other dude, but yeah, they have injuries, especially the receiving cores. Their weapons on offense are not what they used to be. It's possible Rodgers may have lost a step or just doesn't care anymore. I don't know. You hear his press conferences, and he's like blaming. Like today on McAfee says, like, players that don't know what they're doing need to like not play or something like that. Like he's blaming everyone but himself.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I'd do the same thing. But yeah, I mean, he just like is winging it. Like he's not even like he's like a commentator. He's not even acting like he's part of the team. It's strange, but then the coach and everyone has to still defend him because what are you going to do? He's Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're not going to put on Jordan Love out there. Their road to victory is to run the ball. Hopefully, Josh Poo turns the ball over, and they have to shut down our two receivers, which I don't know if that's even possible. I mean,
Diggs seems unstoppable this season so far. I mean, he's just getting open. He's making good catches. He might be the best receiver in franchise history.
I'll give give Joshie Poo 3.5 seconds, and he's just going to chuck it down to Gabe Davis, and he'll get 50 yards for you. So, I mean, that dude just catches bombs and scores touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have a guy like him and a guy like Diggs, who, I mean, if you're gonna single up Diggs, and you can't. How do you defend our offense? Can't blitz us. Can't play zone.
I mean, we just play with our fingers crossed that we're going to be able to chuck the ball to our tight end, our overpaid tight end, to make a miraculous catch with a minute and a half left or whatever to win the game, or else we would have lost probably. But
miraculous? I mean, it was an absolute dime on the money. It wasn't really miraculous. It was
a pretty good route. I thought it was a good route.
I thought it was a great route. The way he came back to the ball there, and Allen put it on the number. I mean, it was a great play. It was just a great play by a great.
Wasn't it third down?
No, second and 12.
So, did you just watch the play?
No, I just remember it was second and 12. I think on 1st and 10 we ran it, and Singletary got just stuffed, and then and
Joshie Poo is 8 for 8 on scrambles on 3rd or 4th down. So, I mean, if the guy gets out of the box, it's scrambling around. He's unstoppable. That was the other
unstoppable. Yeah, he's unstoppable. That's why it's so mind-boggling that we struggle in the red zone. I don't that McKenzie 4th down. Like, I don't know. Anytime we have or inside the 5, I feel like
we're under a minute. So what's your prediction?
Yeah, 35-17.
I think it's going to be close. I think I want to predict that we lose, but
I know you want to. How does Green Bay get to 20? How does Green Bay get to 20 points?
No, they need a defensive special team score, but I'll say it'll be 23-14. I'm going to take the under. I think that these defenses are going to show up.
Oh boy, I love it.
And we didn't even say Von Miller's name. Dude's been lights out. So.
All about my Bills like Buffalo. Shit, I'm all about the Bills like Thurman Thomas.
We're not making a playoff.
I don't tip, I pay bills. Bitches call me Buffalo.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.